Welcome back, everybody. I've often wondered, is it possible to go away on a mini tour on a naked bike like the Street Triple? Or is that a thing only reserved for the likes of my GS? Well, I aim to find out.
Morning all, welcome aboard. Yes, I've owned the bike for 6 months now, and it's always intrigued me if I could actually go away on a mini tour, or indeed a round trip like I'm doing today. So albeit I'm not staying overnight tonight, but nevertheless I am doing a 700 kilometre trip today, so a good few miles under the belt, and no matter how experienced or inexperienced you are, 700 kilometres is a good innings on a motorcycle for one day anyway. So I've put my rucksack on. As you can see, I've got the Krieger dry pack 30 litres on because I've got my digital SLR camera kit in there, just to sort of weigh me down a little bit, because realistically on a naked bike, if I was going away for a night or 2 nights, I would be taking a rucksack to put clothes in, and as well as my camera kit. I do have the Oxford dry pack, which I bought recently to go on the tail of the motorbike, and I was going to put that on and fill it with clothes, but well, to be honest, I couldn't be arsed. So at least I've weighed myself down a little bit to make it a bit more realistic, as if I was going away on a trip. Now, obviously, as the video progresses and my journey progresses, that's the time really to give you feedback of how I feel, how the bike feels, if I'm feeling tired, and anything else which springs to mind. So just in case you're wondering, I'm actually going over to County Sligo right now, and I'm going to visit something called Classiebawn Castle, which I'll tell you more about when I get there. But there's actually a photograph I want to get, which I've had in my mind for a long time. So within the dry pack I have the digital SLR and a long lens in order for me to try and capture that photograph. So I really hope I get it. I always love a purpose when I go out on a motorbike. Not that you need one, of course, but it's always nice to have a point of interest or something to ride to. Well, I think so anyway. So that's what I'm doing, and then this afternoon after that I'm going to head up into Donegal, where a mate of mine from England, an old school friend actually, is visiting. So I'm going to go and have a cup of tea with him, and then I'm going to head back. So yeah, good old trip. If the weather stays like this, it should be thoroughly enjoyable. I feel as fresh as a daisy right now anyway, because I had a great night's sleep last night. I've replenished myself with plenty of water, plenty of coffee, so I'm in great form. In a way, it would be nice if I got a little shower just to sort of test the elements as well. But already I can feel the nip in the air. It's even though it's summertime here in Ireland, it's still a bit cold, and I'm glad I put the lining in my Merlin jacket this morning before I left. I've got a full tank of fuel, and the fuel gauge says I have 230 kilometres available within that full tank. I have noticed one thing about this bike. It certainly seems a bit thirsty, but then I have been thrashing it of late, so that's probably down to the rider style rather than the bike style. I've deliberately chosen twisty roads as well on the journey. I've told Google Maps to avoid motorways, just so I can sort of ride the bike, which would, you know, of course add to rider fatigue as well in the real world. So I am giving this a real world test. The only thing I'm not doing is staying overnight, and I can't do that because I'm working tomorrow. However, I'm thoroughly looking forward to the day ahead. What's the saying? Be careful what you wish for. So we have got a bit of rain. It does look as though I'll be riding through it. I'll just overtake this tractor. But I mean, these are real world riding conditions, so, and it's exactly what I wanted. I hope you can see the picture all right. I've been on the bike nearly an hour now, 48 minutes. Still feel as fresh as a daisy. Maybe it's the next time I tune in to tell you how I'm getting on, I could be soaked. I might not feel as fresh as a daisy. The riding position is well, it's just very relaxing. I know it's the RS version, so it's propped up by another 20mm on the back compared to the R version. But I've said it countless times in videos I've made, like the review video about this bike, you don't feel that at all. There is a zero weight on my wrists. I don't feel as though I have to take the wrists off the bars to wiggle around or anything. None of that. Yeah, apart from the rain, I'm a happy camper. I am going to turn the camera off, however, just to save the battery and hopefully get out of the shower. So folks, I've just had to switch my heated grips on. Thankfully I got them when I ordered the bike. I asked for them to be fitted as well. I think it was around €300, but that was actually a very good move because my hands are freezing. There's obviously no wind deflectors around the handle grips here. Actually it would spoil the look of the bike anyway, so I wouldn't want them. I'd never put them on as a sort of add-on. But thankfully I have the heated grips. I'm sort of wearing the wrong gloves as well. I got lulled into a false sense of security this morning because I'm recording this video in June. You would have thought, of course, it was going to be a lot warmer than it actually is. It's, let's have a wee look there, it's 9 degrees. So it's not great, especially when your hands are getting a bit of wind blast. Thank you very much, sir. So, of course, if you live in a hotter country, that won't bother you at all. But they're fairly thin gloves. I wouldn't say they're sort of summer mesh gloves. They still have all of the protection and padding. But, oh God, here's the rain again. Ah, well, at least this is for real. And knowing that I have the Michelin Road 6s on as well, you know, I just feel in total control of the road, even though the roads are now slippy because of the rain hitting the very dry and fairly warm roads as well. But yeah, I'm still very happy. Just wish the rain would feck off. Why did I stupidly say I would like a bit of rain? Look at this. Oh God. Anyway, stay positive, Dave. Fucking idiot. I could have died there. Oh Jesus. I am honestly sick to death of having so many close calls like this. I'm having loads lately. I was out the other night and was met with a combine harvester, then a tractor, with the young lad driving the tractor on the phone as I was coming around a bend. It's unbelievable now. So I've been riding for nearly 2 hours now, folks, and I'm absolutely freezing. That's one thing I've learnt about coming away for any length of time on a naked bike. Dress more appropriately because I don't have any sort of wind protection, i.e. in terms of a windscreen or a fairing. I have nothing throwing the wind around me. I'm getting the full force of it. Now I dare say it, on a hot day it would be absolutely glorious, but it's very cold. The temperature there is 7.5 degrees. So that's why I'm feeling cold. Even if I'd put my sort of textile suit on, that would have been better. But I've only got these jeans. Don't know if you can see them. I don't want to look down. I'm coming into some twisty roads. I've only got the jeans and my wax jacket. Fortunately, I put the liner back into the wax jacket this morning, and I've closed off the ventilation zips. Nevertheless, it's still a bit chilly. So yeah, nearly 2 hours in, and no fatigue at all. I mentioned earlier about the weight on the wrists. I'm not even noticing that, and that's one thing. Funny enough, I did this journey on the Aprilia, the RS660, again just to test out if you could tour on that, and that's one of the things I did notice at the end of the day on that bike. So very interesting. I'm not feeling any of that on the street triple. Visor back down, and we've got a bit of sunshine, even better. The other thing to add at this stage is the comfort of the seat. Well, I knew when I bought it, I mean, if you followed me for a while, you will know that that's one of the first things I pick up on straight away, the comfort of the seat. I don't know if it's an age thing or just because I've got a sensitive ass. But the comfort of the seat is, well, you couldn't wish for any more. It's like, it's up there with the GS, it really is. It's really luscious, soft padding on me behind. And very nice. Should be coming into some nice scenery soon, because we're nearly in Sligo, on the west coast of Ireland. A beautiful part of the world. Incidentally, for those of you wondering if you're considering purchasing one of these and wondering if the bike will fit you and if you would feel the same because of your dimensions, I am 5'8", I weigh 200 pounds, 30-inch inseam. And just as I mentioned, look at this scenery through the trees here now. Hopefully when we come around these twisties, the scenery will start to unfold. I did wonder if I would miss the old cruise control, because I've said a few times I really regret not getting that fitted at the time I ordered the bike. I honestly thought this would be a bike for ripping up the country lanes, and would be sort of resigned to that task. It was only when I started riding it and felt how incredible it was. That's really why I'm doing this video, because I do want to start bringing her further away. So I will be getting the cruise control fitted. However, I don't miss it one little bit, but then I'm on roads like this, you see. I suspect if I was on motorways going off somewhere like around the continent or something like that, cruise control would come in very, very handy. And the other thing I have to bear in mind as well is that of course I'm going to want cruise control more than most, because I'm forever taking my hands off the handlebars to start and stop the cameras and everything else which goes with motor vlogging. And there you can see Ben Bulben. That's our very own Table Mountain here in Ireland. And look at the light on it as well. If I get this photo opportunity, which I have in my mind for, I was going to say months. I've had this photograph in mind for years. And if the light stays like this, I could be in luck. I also need a few of the other planets to align to get the correct photograph. I need the road, which I have in mind, to have nothing on. I need the actual castle to have light on it, otherwise it just won't pop against a lit background like that. Anyway, all shall make sense if I get the photograph. I better slow down. There's two suicidal dogs there. Seem to be weaving in and out of the Master's quad bike. I don't want them weaving in and out of my bike though, so check he's alright. Beautiful dogs. I love watching the collie dogs working when they're rounding up sheep and all. Oh gosh, yeah, the diversion is sending the traffic exactly down the road that I want to be using. Well, like this Land Rover in front of me. Not good. And there is the North Atlantic, folks. Oh wow, it's rough today. Look at that. My god, it's rough. Great for the surfers, although I can't see any. So I'm going to do a little recce here just to see if that photograph is possible. I'm not sure how possible it is, and the Ben Bulben mountain range doesn't seem to have any light on it at all. So I think we have photograph accomplished. Now, just to give you a brief background of Classybourne Castle, this is where Lord Mountbatten lived. Lord Mountbatten was King Charles's uncle and confidant. In fact, it was Lord Mountbatten who told King Charles, Prince Charles back then, to stay away from Camilla Parker Bowles. Thank you. Obviously, Prince Charles didn't listen. I was talking to that lady before as I was taking the photograph. She apologised for walking down the road. She wanted to know if I wanted to sort of hang on until I got the photograph. But at that stage there was about 20 or 30 other tourists on the road, so I told her to go ahead. Lovely lady. And unfortunately back in 1979, which was the height of the Troubles here in Ireland, Mountbatten was assassinated by the IRA. I have made a video about this as well. If you want to go through my back catalogue, you will find it. Classybourne Castle. I made a quick travel log edit of the actual story as well. But look at this sea, guys, it's very rough today. Right, I am going to actually head into Mullaghmore and get a spot to eat before I then head up to Donegal this afternoon. Okay folks, I promised to show you the photograph right at the end of the video, but whilst I'm going to leave the location filming here now, I think it's time for Scotty to beam me back to the Wheelie Good garage.
So I've literally just got off the bike. The rubber is still hot, but I did want to give you this live reaction. After all, I've just completed 712 kilometres, which is 442 miles. I've had 2 fuel stops, bearing in mind that when I left this morning, the tank was full anyway. I've had 3 rain showers, and I still feel fresh and alert, even though I might not look it. I am a little bit tired. That's nothing to do with the bike. I'm trying to calculate it. I've been on the bike, I think, over 6 hours, just riding over 6 hours, even though it's now just after 8 o'clock in the evening. I left at 9 o'clock this morning, so it's a sort of an 11-hour shift. Visiting friends in between. Now, let me tell you that the seat on this Triumph Street Triple is, I think I might have said it during the course of the day, it's up there with the GS. It's an incredibly comfortable seat. I could sit in that seat all day. Hang on, I just did. Now, my final observations: no lower back pain and no wrist pain. And that's normally the first thing where I would feel any sort of pain if I've had a long day on a bike. And so that's good news. The wind is constant, obviously, because it's a naked bike. But the good news is that there's absolutely no buffeting. It was just very, very smooth airflow. And I think that contributed to keeping me alert, weirdly. I was trying to wonder, because normally, like, even if I'm on a GS or the VFR or previous bikes that I've owned as well, I wouldn't last that long without having at least 3 or 4 coffee breaks. And I have to say, I did stop for lunch, but I didn't even stop for a coffee break in the end. So I just had the lunch and that was it. However, I have realised one thing, that obviously it being a naked bike, the next time I go out for a full day like that, or a little tour a couple of nights away even, I definitely need another layer of clothing. I mean, even though it did hit 12 degrees Celsius today, I was still absolutely freezing because I'm getting the full force of the wind. So obviously no screen to throw the wind around me, and no fairings as well. Of course not, it's a naked bike. The clue is in the name. So the other thing was that the mirrors were very vibey above 100 kilometres, to the point where I couldn't tell if it was a cop car behind me or whatever. However, the good news is that I felt none of those vibes through the handlebars or the pegs. And the other thing is, my conclusion, really, which is why I made this video, is that I would have absolutely no concerns at all about going further afield on this bike. The only thing I did realise on the way home early this evening is that, I know I might have mentioned it again within the course of the video, I took the twisties on purpose just so I would be riding the bike rather than sort of sitting back, relaxing, looking at the scenery. But I think if I was to start doing motorway riding, I will definitely be getting the cruise control. Well, I think it's a given. I need the cruise control because of doing all the camera stuff and the vlogging and taking my hands off starting and stopping the cameras. So that's the only thing. I didn't miss it, but it's the only thing in the future which I think I might miss if I, like I say, start going further afield. I hope you took something from this video. I had a fantastic day out. I absolutely love this bike. And I'm almost trying to catch it out. I'm almost trying to find something that I don't like about it so I can tell you, because I'm aware that every video I make about this bike, I'm sort of gushing about it. So far, so good. You know, I keep saying that, but and I know even when I leave the garage now, I'm still going to look back and give it a little wink. So... Now, before I end the video, I know you're all dying to see the photograph, so here it is. Now, it's not ideal, it's not the perfect shot by any means, because I would have loved the bike in the middle of the road. I would have loved to have been in the middle of the road with the bike, shooting right down the centre line of the road. I also would have loved some light on the mountain stack behind the castle, but that wasn't to be today. Anyway, still happy enough with this, and that just gives me an excuse to go back and try again. I categorically would not hesitate to go away on a tour on this Triumph Street Triple 765 RS. Absolute luxury and the utmost comfort, which, in fairness, I was not expecting. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back on YouTube next Saturday morning. Until then, ride safe. Dave Perry, Wheelie Good TV, over and out.